Hello everyone and welcome to another video. Winton National in the FF1600. Let's get started. For qualifying you want to be all the way on the right. My braking marker for turn 1 is this 50 board here. I brake just before I get to it. We want to be braking hard. I hit 90% brake pressure and I slowly ease off the brake all the way to the curb. The curbs here will unsettle the car quite a lot, so we don't want to be taking too much of them. Once I get to the curb for the first corner, I'll go full throttle again. If you get the line right through the corner, you should be able to keep full throttle. You might have to do a little lift as I did, because if we go too far out to the left, the car will actually fly. Now you want to stay all the way on the left. My braking marker for turn 3 is the 50 board here on the left. Once I get to that, I brake for about 95% brake pressure as my peak, before easing off all the way to the curb. Once I get to the curb, I'll go full throttle again. In this attempt, I was a little bit greedy, so I did have to lift. And you want to be using all of the curb on the outside. Don't go too far, because there's a 1x if you get into the sand. For turn 4, we don't have to brake. All we do is lift off the throttle. I go off the throttle as soon as I leave this green patch here in front of us. And then you want to be using all of the curb on the inside. Once I get to the curb, I'll go full throttle again. And you want to be using all of the curb on the outside that is available to you. The section from turn 5 all the way up to turn 7 is kind of tricky, because all we have to do is keep the car stable and take the shortest line possible. You want to make sure that you get close to turn 6. All we do is keep the car stable with the throttle and the brake. I like to use second gear here to tighten up the car a little bit. All I aim to do is get close to turn 6, because as soon as I can see and make turn 6, I'll go full throttle, and you don't want to be taking too much of the curb for turn 6. It will unsettle the car quite a lot. And for turn 7, I don't have a clear braking marker for you. But as soon as I cross the middle of the road, I'll go on the brake, but you don't want to be braking too hard here. My peak is about 45% brake pressure, and you want to be braking out towards the curb. And you want to be holding the brake all the way to the apex of the corner, which is at the top. My aim for turn 7 is to come out about middle of the road, to open up turn 8 a little bit more. When I'm on the curb for turn 8, I'll go on the throttle again. I'm not hitting it too hard though, to make sure the car is stable. Turn 8, no clear braking marker, but I begin to brake just before getting to the curb on the inside. So what you want to do is stay close to the curb all the way around. And when you're aiming at the marshal's post, you should be able to go full throttle again. I aim to come out just about middle of the track, to make sure we have opened up turn 9 a bit more. The curb, as you can see, is not that forgiving. I don't recommend hitting it. Again, no clear braking marker, but I try and brake just as I lose this marshal post here on the right out of my sight. This time I go to about 40% brake pressure and I trail the brake all the way to the curb. I mostly stay close to the curb here, but we want to get as early on the throttle as we can. Luckily the road is fairly wide, so once you start seeing the Winton signs, you should be able to go on the throttle again. If the car want to walk out all the way to the curb on the outside, you've done it right. And for turn 10, you want to be on the right side of the road. My braking marker for turn 10 is this 50 board here on the left. Once I get past that, I'll brake hard with a peak of 90% brake pressure, before easing it off all the way to the curb on the inside. The curb on the outside is really wide, so we can get a lot earlier on the throttle than we think. Just don't hit the curb on the inside, as that will unsettle the car quite a lot. I apex at the top of the corner, and once I get to the curb there, I will go full throttle again, and of course I'll use all of the curb on the outside. With all the curb out there, it makes the corner a little bit easier, so make sure to use it. Turn 11 is a good overtaking opportunity if you want to try. Then the lap times will get slowed down quite a lot if you try. Of course you want to be all the way on the left for turn 11, and my braking marker is the 50 board here on the right. Once I get past that, I'll go on the brake hard to about 90% brake pressure. I'm holding that for a little bit before going into a trail braking action all the way to the curb. Once I'm at the curb, I'll go full throttle again, and you want to aim to come out at the curb on the outside, because we want to open up turn 12 as much as we can. Just before getting off the curb, all you have to do is lift. If you feel uncertain, you can tap the brake for about 5%, but just a quick tap, because then you should have enough rotation to make the corner. Once I'm at the curb, I'll go full throttle again. I do take a little bit of the curb, and of course you have to use all of the available room on the outside to carry as much speed as you can. And that's a lap around Winton for me, for a 124.9. If you want more track guides like this, I have them linked in a playlist down below. Hopefully this guide has helped you. If it has, leave a like down below. Consider subscribing as well. And now for the uninterrupted hot laps.